We can see that SCO is these days playing a very crucial role as being the platform of a dialogue between the countries. Surely the member countries, especially we can see that Russia or China or India or Pakistan, that they have their own interest and they have their own strategy or policy. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we are not agree, or other countries may not be agree with their policies. But the important thing is that first we have to define that the SCO is not a military bloc and it's not the military platform, which is we should not consider it as some kind of scale between the West or the Russia or China. So the first thing. The second is this developing countries within this SCO, such as Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, or Kazakhstan, we always being as a partner in the different areas such as education, healthcare, IT technologies. So I would like to mention about the initiatives of President of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, on the two things. First, about the digital literacy of the nation, which is playing very crucial role these days, because we can see that development of IT technologies and all these IT services. And but if we do not teach our people in digital skills, and they cannot use these services as well. And of course, we can see that other countries, maybe some countries has a good skill, good experience, some has a best practice, or others. I think that if we collaborate in this issue and open or have some training centers or some online platforms, I think it will also help to jointly work on improving the digital skills of the nations.
It seems that the Central Asian members of the SCO, of this bloc, want the SCO to be a development vehicle, whereas so far it has been a security plus the economic platform. So how do you see that evolution? How can that happen?
Well, there are lots of talks about the boundary issues, of course, not only between these Central Asian countries, but all the member countries of SCO. Also the main vision of SCO was this solving boundary problems. If we compare 20 years ago and 5 years ago in Central Asia, we somehow try to understand these days, understanding each other. Before, if we compare 5 years ago, we were avoiding dialogues even. Borders were closed, we didn't want to talk it to. And nowadays we can see that leaders of these countries solved almost 90% of boundary problems. And the next is which is the water problem, will be, I think, the next agenda, because separately countries cannot solve these issues, especially the food problem or some ecological or climate problems as well. I think together only we can solve these problems, which is being solved, I can say, last years. Even though it is the pandemic period, now is a post-pandemic, but still we can say that Uzbekistan showed itself as a stable developing country.
Uzbekistan is clear about what it wants, and we're hearing similar statements, as I said, from the Central Asian partners as well. But will Russia and China go along? Will they consider these to be priorities?
Well, I would like to start by the IT, for example. We can say that in Uzbekistan or Kazakhstan market, Chinese telecommunication products are really huge compared to others. For example, it's Huawei maybe or ZTE, but still, for example, we see that HP or Dell from US also are playing some kind of very good role. But we know also the India, we can say that also very good in IT. Also sometimes we can say that very good, like competitive to Silicon Valley, we can say. So, but I see that Uzbekistan, I mean the Central Asia always was like a hot place for between these big players. So there were some big games and also will be. So Uzbekistan especially always will be like different in their diplomatic skills, I would say. So I think that this is the kind of very important part of our like a culture.